Good morning, everyone. We will be starting in a little while. Let's just give a little bit of time for the others to join as well. But in the meantime, we would like to hear from you, maybe in the chat box, from which industries and preferably which companies you all are from, just to get an idea for Samir to maybe customize in his presentation as we go on. So if you don't mind, just drop in the chat box from where you are, at least the industry that you're representing. And we will start off as soon as we have a few other participants on board.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. We'll be beginning in 2 minutes. If you can possibly in the chat box, just so that Mr. Samir is also aware of which industries you represent. If you can just mention in the chat box which industry you represent and which company you represent, that'll be a good start. We'll be beginning in 2 minutes. Thank you.
So good morning all. Let me welcome you all for this session of our new social media listening tool, which we are just about to introduce to you. Konnect Insight is a unified tool which harmonizes your entire social activities, such as your social listening, online reputation, social CRM, and most of all, crisis management online. So this is a tool that unifies all these into one and provides you with an ample support to become better or have a better show on your social media. Samir Naka is the founder of Konnect Insights. He's an electrical engineer, electrical and telecommunications engineer by profession, and he found Konnect Insights in 2011. Today, Konnect Insights is giving ample run, I would say, to the rest of the more globally renowned social media tools. So without further ado, I will hand this over to Samir. And if there are any questions, we would appreciate if you would drop it on the chat box, or we will take it at the end of the program. So enjoy all, and I will hand this over to Samir from here. Thank you, Samir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Varnika, for the introduction. My name is Samir. I'm the founder at Konnect Insights. As you already know, we started this company about 10 years back. It's been a long journey from the day we wrote our first line of code to today. We have got the opportunity to work with companies from various industries. And I see in the chat box, a lot of people from various industries have joined the webinar. And I'm so glad today that I'll be sharing some of the use cases of how we work with some of the companies from banking, financial services, IT, pharma, QSR, automobiles, aviation, so on and so forth. So we'll talk a lot about how Konnect Insights is used by these companies. We'll talk a lot about those use cases. We'll also talk about how the industry works, why this kind of tools are required, and what kind of solutions do Konnect Insights offer to all these brands. I'll be sharing my screen, but as and when I talk, please feel free to write your questions in the Q&A section and the chat box. I would love to answer all of them as and when I see or towards the end of the product demo. I would love if this session is interactive. I would love to learn from you how things work in the Sri Lankan market as well. We are an Indian-based company having customers primarily in India, US, Middle East, and Malaysia, and now we have started in Sri Lanka, and would love to learn more about how things work in Sri Lanka. Yeah, if at all we would like to talk about cricket, I'll do that as well if we get a chance. Something that connects two countries, yeah, India and Sri Lanka. So, anyways, let's get started. So today we are talking about how to unify your marketing, customer experience, and data analytics. So let us understand the need for a unified platform as a brand. Okay, today what happens is customer is at the center of everything that you do, right? We might have various departments in our team. We have a marketing team, we have a customer care team, we have a PR team, we have analysts, and if they work in silos, the customer would be unhappy. Yeah, that is the crux of it. Today, customer is at the center of everything that we do. The way to look at it is this way. See, if I walk into a store, let's say in our building there is an automobile store, and I can take an example of that. If I walk in over there and I get a bad experience for some reason, I go in there with an intention of buying the car, and I'm not treated well. What will happen is I won't buy that car. That is one thing, definitely, but I'll go and share that experience with my friends. And in today's world, I'll share that experience on any of the social media platforms. I would either go and tweet about it, or I would either go on Facebook and tag the brand and talk about it. I'm going to influence at least hundreds of my friends, right? If two of them are willing to buy that car, they won't buy it. So any conversation that goes negatively on social media platform impacts a lot. Okay, because that brand might bring in a very big celebrity brand ambassador to talk so nice things about their car, but people won't listen to that. You know, if they bring any big cricketer or film star, people won't be influenced by what they say. People would be influenced by what people are saying, what I am saying, or what you are saying, and the friends that are listening to you. So in today's world, everything has changed, right? Earlier, before social media, before 2010, people would say that, you know, whatever the brand is saying is the marketing communication. It has changed completely. Today, what the customers say is what people listen to. So that's why customer care is so important. Care is the new marketing, as they say, right? If you don't address these issues that the customer faced on the when they had the experience with your brand, and when they're sharing on the social media platforms, then you would never realize how your brand reputation would go down and how it will impact sales. So if anybody has a bad experience on these platforms, then you should go ahead and address those issues. Yeah, I'll not read out the stats that are there on the presentation, but I'll tell you why and how the world has changed because of all the online platforms and social media. So you need to listen to these customers. If you are listening to the customers, then you can address their issues and ask them, okay, if you had that experience, how can we help you? Resolve the customer's issue. That customer is going to appreciate that and write positive things about you. So negative conversations will come. You cannot avoid that. Nobody as a brand can avoid negative conversations. The idea is to ensure that we address those issues of the customer, and from a person who was writing negative things about you, how can you make him a brand advocate? Yeah, that is the whole idea. So listen to every single conversation, engage with those customers and respond to their queries. That is one aspect of what social listening is all about. Yeah, the other aspect of social media, social listening, is where you try to understand what are the conversations about your brand, your competition, and industry. Yeah, in earlier days, if you want to get a market insights, you would send out surveys to people, or you would have people people on ground taking feedback from the users. If you have to do a product launch, you would uh, go ahead and get these insights from various people. Today, if you see, all this data is available there on the social media platforms. So if you go ahead and listen to a particular industry's conversations, you will get loads of insights. There are research-based companies who use Konnect Insights to get data from all the platforms to understand how a particular industry is doing, how a particular brand is doing. So you can listen to all these conversations. If you have to launch a new product, you can listen to the conversations that are happening about your industry, about your competition, and understand from that. We had a customer who launched their electric scooter about a year back, but they were using our product for last 3 years to understand how the electric scooters will work in the Indian market. Yeah, so that was the idea. They were listening to all the conversations, and accordingly, based on those insights, were making any changes if they want in the product. Yeah, there are definitely a lot of challenges launching electric scooter in terms of the charging points. So those issues we need to understand before we go ahead and launch a product. Various use cases as to the customer care part, the listening part, to understand how you are doing versus your competition and the industry, the product launch part, right? These are all useful use cases of how social listening tools can be used. And of course, we'll cover more aspects as to how you can avoid crisis management using Konnect Insights. Yeah. So there are more and more people who are there on social media, 3.6 billion as of today. And all these customers are expressing opinions on the social media platforms. So you need to listen to them, not just for your customer care, but to be proactive and to learn from them, engage with them, and make them more happier. So the objective is to make your customers more and more happier by listening and engaging with them. Yeah, so that's a quick overview of what social listening does. The solutions that you require, you need a very sophisticated tool that gives you all these kind of insights, and this is what we offer in Konnect Insights. It's a product that makes your customer happier. We call it as a customer experience management platform. There are various modules in this product. And it starts basically with listening to your customers. So the social listening aspect is the most important one, where you put in the keywords for what you want to track, and based on that, it pulls out data from all blogs, forums, news, consumer forums, review sites. You don't have to mention anything, just put in the keywords. We have very powerful search engines that will pull data from all these platforms. We crawl hundreds and millions of websites all over the world, and it will give you data. So if you are, let's take an example, a banking or a financial services customer, put in the keywords for the brand that you want to track, and be rest assured that all the public data, all the public and the legally available data, you'll get into the product. Going forward, you also go ahead and connect your own social media channels. So if you have your own Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, go ahead and connect those channels, basically authenticate them, and all the conversations that come on those channels, whether it's private or public, because you're authenticated, you'll get that data as well. Okay, so the first aspect of is to ensure that everything that matters to you on the online platform is coming in one unified platform. So you'll get that via the social listening. Now, getting that data is the first thing. What do you do with that data? So you can do online reputation, basically engage with the customers who have written to you. You can have very sophisticated workflows to assign those tasks to different team members. It will create tickets. You will have a lot of automation in terms of how the workflow will happen. Right people will get the right tickets, and you can ensure that you respond to the customer queries. There are brands who have SLAs of less than 10 minutes for the first level response, and post that, for most cases, they try and resolve the issues within 2 hours or sometimes 4 hours. So they solve those customer queries, and then there are very detailed reports as to how we have performed, what was our turnaround time. Most cases where we took more time, what was the reason for that? For negative conversations, how much time we took, which agents performed the best. So all those reports are available to you as part of online reputation. Then third aspect is your social CRM, where you can connect insights with third-party products, be it your dynamic CRM or any of the other CRMs where you want to push this data into those platforms. That is also possible. The other use cases where you connect your third-party apps into Konnect Insights. So we do have a provision to get data into Konnect Insights. So if you have any third-party tools, there are use cases as with some of the brands where they have connected call center data into Konnect Insights, the chatbots connected into Konnect Insights. So all the data comes here, and you get tickets, and you also have analytics for any data that you get in. Fourth aspect is your social media platform analytics. So what we have seen so far is that we are listening to the customers, we are understanding what they are talking, but you also need to do an analysis of what you are talking on the social media platforms. So you have your own Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn accounts, and you make posts on these platforms. So you need to understand, how many people are seeing it, what is the impressions, what is the reach, what kind of engagement we are getting, what kind of posts are working for us, which region do we get most engagement. So all that analytics of your own social media pages you can do, and to some extent you can also do that for the competition to understand what kind of posts they are doing. You can do content bucketing to understand what kind of posts they do. Yeah. So that is social media platform analytics. Now, two aspects we have seen: analysis of what others are talking about us, analysis of what we are talking on the social media platform. And it also allows you, if you talk about social publishing, it also allows you to publish the content on the social media platform. So it's a very good social media management platform where you can schedule content on these platforms. You can have agencies, you have brands, there are collaboration tools to ensure that all the content is uploaded in one place. You can have approvals. So all the aspects of social media management tool is covered in social media publishing. Then we also have surveys and feedback. So what happens as a brand? You are doing listening analytics, you are doing analysis of what you are talking. Surveys, we say that this is asking analytics. Basically, there are times when, based on the insights that you have received, you want to send out a survey to understand if we are going to launch a product, how it is going to work for us. Now, one of the use cases I'll tell you, this is for one of the biggest airports. They use Konnect Insights as a central product for all their data. And with all the insights they received, they understood that there are challenges when it comes to handling baggages of the passengers. And they get so many passengers every day at that airport. It's one of the biggest airports in the world. Now they wanted to launch a service to address this issue. And if you are going to launch a service, you need to understand from the customers it is really going to work or not. So you can send out surveys in that case. Send out the surveys to all those people who have spoken about this issue, and you get that data through the classification analysis that we have, right? Send out a survey to all these people, ask them relative questions about the baggage problems that they face, and this is a possible solution. Would they appreciate it or not? So if you then they got all the insights, and they realized that maybe because of security, people would not want us to launch this service, right? And they dropped that idea of launching a new service that they were planning. They could have invested a lot of money, launched the service, and would have realized that it's not working. But with all these insights that you get from the platform, right, you can exactly target whom to send out this service to. Okay, so that's what the survey model does. The next aspect is your BI tools and dashboarding. So all the insights that you get from the product, you can create very good dashboards, and there are very good BI tools. This is one of the best feature of the product, where you can also bring in external data and connect with Konnect Insights. Plus, we have BI tools to create custom charts of your own requirement. Then finally, crisis management, where based on all the insights that you get, data you get, you can put in right kind of alerts. So you are alerted if any crisis is happening. So it's again, there are a lot of use cases around it. There's a very big QSR brand who was benefited using the crisis management model. Yeah. So that's a quick overview of what Konnect Insights does. And each of these modules are very deep. We, of course, are a very broad product that gives you a lot of tools in one product, but we also go deep. Each of these modules are very insightful. And as I said, it's a product for all brands. So whether it's your customer care, your marketing, your PR, your analysts, your top CXOs, they're all on one unified platform, and multiple teams can have unified view of the customer. These are some of the brands who are using it. They're from various industries, right from government industries to banking, financial services, your entertainment brands, e-commerce, FMCG. You can see they are from various industries. And this is a product that is widely used across various social media agencies as well, because they want to, they are at times who are the ones who are the users for the brand. Most times the brands are also the users, agencies are also the users. They can all be part of one account and and manage all the data. Yeah. So let us understand what data we get from all these platforms. So when you put in the keywords, you get data from all blogs, forums, news, consumer forum, review sites. This is just by keywords. We have our own powerful search engines that crawl and get data from all these platforms. Over and above, you can go ahead and connect your Facebook. If you authenticate your own Facebook account, then there are various aspects on Facebook where people can comment on your post. They can write an inbox message. They can do a tagged posts, visitor posts. So you're going to get all that data for sure. Yeah, once you authenticate it. If you go ahead and just put in the keywords for the brand, then you're going to get data from just the open posts that are there for that brand. Similarly, for Twitter, you'll get Twitter mentions, DMs, and public data based on Twitter. You can authenticate your Instagram. You'll get Instagram DMs, mentions, tag posts, comments on posts, YouTube, LinkedIn, email, Play Store app, iOS app, your Google business reviews, SMS you can connect. You can connect Facebook Business Manager account. You can also connect WhatsApp. So all these platforms, the idea is all the data that matters to you is in one platform, right? Over and above, if you go ahead and want to connect data from third-party sources, treat our product as a central product for ticketing. So there are APIs which you can call and get data. So think of it as a marketplace approach there, where third-party data can also come into Konnect Insights. And once it comes, we are very much a source agnostic. Basically, wherever the data is coming from, your ticket will be created and you'll also get analytics for it. Yeah. So once the data is into the platform, there are various things that you can do. It creates a one ticket. There can be multiple agents who are part of the product, and based on the logic, they'll get the data. So there is very good automation built for this that decides who will get this data based on what queries they have solved before. Now, these features are very important because the objective is you would want to reduce your turnaround time to respond to the customer queries. So there is in one use case of a brand from e-commerce, they observed that their turnaround time for the first response earlier was 15 minutes. They have brought it down to 3 minutes now. Yeah, that they're talking about the first level response, because it is very important that the data comes in real time. Now, we are enterprise customers of these social media platforms, so you will surely get data within a real time, and the data is there. It is nicely displayed to the agent. It automatically assigns to the proper agent, and hence you are able to respond to the customer in quick time. Now, there has to be workflow management so that you assign this task to the right team member, and then that team member responds back to you, and then you resolve the customer query finally. Yeah. So if this is a banking industry, let's take an example. You have various departments. You would have a credit card department, you would have someone from the business loan department. And if a query comes in, it has to be automatically classified into that category. So it automatically gets assigned to the right team member. And then only you are able to resolve that query quickly. So if a credit card query goes to the loan department, again, that loan department will send it to the credit card department. You don't want that to happen. So you need to ensure that the automated workflows that you have set are working correctly and the right people are getting the right information. Plus, we also have mobile apps where the data can flow in and you're quickly alerted. So you check the query, you can connect it with your own CRMs to get the data back into the system to understand what the issue was and then respond to the customer query. Yeah. So all those aspects are there. There are auto responses also available, but generally brands don't prefer to do that on open public platforms. But let's say there is a review which is on a Google business and they have rated you 4+ star, then you can use the automation to just acknowledge the query and respond directly onto the platforms. So automation for responses is in two ways. Either you can automatically respond to the customer, which brands generally don't do, or you can have auto responses available for your agents. Yeah, if you set the workflows correctly, the agents will be prompted what response needs to be sent. And of course, there are dashboard sharing options and all. We'll see that in the product demo. Yeah. As I'm talking, I would love to see if you can ask me a lot of questions. I'll try and answer to them towards the end. Yeah. So in the previous slide, it was some examples of how various brands are using it and responding onto the customer queries. So social CRM, I've already covered this, how you can integrate third-party apps with the product, whether to take data out of the system or to bring data from other platforms into Konnect Insights. Analytics, as I said, it's two-part. One is the listening analytics, one is the social media platform analytics. And these are some of the reports and dashboards that you get. So we will see that during the product demo, but each of these dashboards has a lot of insight. Now, when it comes to the listening analytics, the story goes this way. You know, how do you present the report? You basically present the report by saying, first understanding how much volume of conversations we are getting, what kind of data we are getting from overall as a brand, or compare that with our competition. And this data will come from various platforms like your blogs, forums, news, consumer forum, review sites, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, so on and so forth. So you need to do a media time analysis from where these conversations are coming. You try to understand the sentiment of these conversations as to what is the overall sentiment about the brand, what is the overall sentiment for our competition. And then you would try and understand, whether this negative conversations are for a particular aspect of our product. If I'm a banking industry, are people talking negatively about loans, or are they talking negatively about a credit card? So you do a classification analysis for that. You try and understand which users are talking positive, which users are talking negative. You try and understand which websites are talking about us and what aspects of our platform they are talking about. So all this is how generally a social listening report is done. So we have various dashboards for each of these aspects. And then you can always go to the dynamic dashboard and just drag and drop whichever charts you want. You can go to the BI tools and customize the charts by defining columns and filters. So all those necessary tools are available in Konnect Insights. And these dashboards are shareable dashboards. You can create a public link of it, and also can create dashboards as per your brand colors. So there are a lot of tools to change the way the dashboards look. This is the BI tools aspect. If you have used tools like Tableau or Power BI, you will know that there are times when you want to customize a lot of things based on the columns and filters that you want to apply. So you can go ahead and build charts as per your requirement. So what we understood so far was the social listening aspect of it, the customer care part of it. How do we engage and respond to the customer queries? Then let us understand what social media analytics we can do for our own channels. So these platforms are covered: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. For competition, you can have your Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also go ahead and connect your Facebook Business Manager account, your Google Ads account, and Google Analytics account, and you'll get data from this platform. So the idea is, one platform for all analytics. You can do publishing, as we discussed. You can schedule content on the platform. Approvals is one of the best feature, where you would say that, I would want this post to go on Facebook only if my manager approves it. And then basically I'll schedule that content. So you can use publishing. This is a very widely used feature across various brands. Just ensures that, if you have a campaign, you can predefine all the posts in the calendar view, and then ensure that at the right time, all these posts are going. Okay. So then comes Command Center, where you can have live TV dashboards put up on in your office, and you can see the live data. This is used by a lot of brands from various industries, and they love to show this live data. So you can have a country map, you can have a world map, you can have a live feed of the data coming from these regions. You can understand what influencers are talking in real time. So very real time analytics are put up on the live TV dashboards. Yeah. So that's a quick overview about Konnect Insights. I will skip through the slides, and we can look at the user interface. So I'll just check quickly if there are any questions, anything in the chat box. I have a question. Would the social listening tool monitor private profiles? Yeah. So private profiles, as in what happens is, when we'll see that what happens is, you basically authenticate your own channels to get the data. It's like, basically, if I go ahead and authenticate any channel, then I'll get that private data, and it will only be visible to me. Okay. So let's get started how the product looks like. This is the user interface for Konnect. And to get started, what we need to do is go to this topic section and put in the keywords for what you want to track. Yeah. So basically what you go ahead and do is, first part of setup is to put in the keywords to track the data. Now this is a Boolean query. You can go ahead and add as many keywords inside it. Plus it works in all languages. All written languages are supported. So you put in the keywords, and it will give you data from all these platforms. Yeah. So it's going to give you data from all these platforms. You don't have to mention any of these platforms. But if you want to put in regional filters, you can do that. And we can put in country filter or language filter. And if you want to exclude certain aspects, you can do that, right? So this is a part of setup. We'll not spend a lot of time on it. It will just ensure that you'll get data from all these platforms. Then the next aspect of it is where you go ahead and add classifications. So classifications is where you will say that I want to get, when I get data, I want to ensure that they are classified into right categories. So you define those categories, set up rules for it, and accordingly it will auto classify the conversations. Then the final aspect of the setup is when you go to the settings page and add your social media channels. So I'll answer that question where you asked how can I get data from my private channels. So when the first aspect of the product is when you put in the keywords, you are getting data from all the public available platforms, completely public and legally available data. Then if you want to get the private channel data of your own platform, you will come here and say, I want to connect my Facebook account. I want to connect my own Twitter, Instagram, business manager account. So this will take you to the respective platform. So if you say connect with Instagram, it will take you to Instagram. You will sign in with the credentials of the Instagram on Instagram. So you're not sharing those details with us. That means you are authenticating, you're basically authenticating the platform to give data to us. Now we will start getting the data. Yeah. And that's when you will start getting your own private messages on Instagram channel. Yeah. I hope that is clear. So you basically go ahead and connect all these platforms to get that data. When you connect one channel, what happens? There are 4 things that happens. One is you get the data. So you get your own inbox messages, your tag posts for this particular channel. You are able to respond to those queries because you have added that channel into the product. Third thing is you are able to do all the analytics for this channel. And fourth thing is, for all the platforms that is possible, you can publish the content onto that platform, right? So that's what happens when you connect all these channels. And if you want to connect any third-party profile, then you can go to the custom profiles and also add those channels. So we'll not be able to cover this part, but just treat it as a product that allows you to pull in data from third-party sources also. Fine. So this is the part of the setup. And once this is done, you have various modules to see the data. So we have monitor, social analytics, publish, survey, and dashboards on the top. If you want to do crisis management, you can go and say configure alerts from here. So this is a quick overview of what you see. So when you go to the monitor tab, you will basically able to see all the tickets and all the data for your platform in the ticket wise view. These are the reports where you're going to see all the reports for the brand. Various analytics can be visible here. How do I just remove this part? Yeah. So your reports are in your share of voice, where you'll see analytics of all the social media channels and all the platforms that you have connected. These are pretty much actionable. So if you click anywhere, you're going to see underlying data for it. You have options of selecting all the platforms from here. So you can go ahead and say, I want to see all the platforms. I want to connect this data one from this date range. I have the option of selecting which brand I want to do these reports. So all these reports are available over here. Yeah. So there is a share of voice report. Then you have sentiment analysis dashboard. So all these reports are available. I might get disconnected for a moment because my internet is working very slow. I'll just switch it to another. Anyways, so this is how various reports are available. And in the ticket-wise view is where you get to see data for all these platforms. So if you want to engage with your customers, you will come here. Again, the filters that are available are here, where you can select a particular brand for which you want to track data. And you will have date range, you will have all the platforms over here, and you will see the current status of all the tickets, plus you will see all the media types over here. Okay, so very comprehensive, one view of everything. If you want to respond to this particular user, click on a reply from here and send out a response directly from the tool. Yeah. And this will also come automatically if you have set up rules. The reason why this is auto populated is because we have set up rules, or it is automatically prompting the agent what needs to be sent. When you reply, you can always send a CSAT link to the customer, whether they are happy with the response or not. So this is how you basically do the response management. And when you hover over a particular conversation, there are various options to manage this data. You can escalate it via an email to someone within the team, or you can assign the task to someone by clicking on this button. The product automatically does sentiment analysis. If you want to change that, you can do it from here. You can resolve the ticket. You can mark it as closed. So what happens when a ticket comes in, you respond to the customer query, and then you mark it as resolved. And only when the customer acknowledges, you mark it as closed. But if the customer doesn't acknowledge in, let's say, 4 hours or so, you can automatically mark it as closed. So you can set up those workflows. And when you click on these 3 dots, you can see that there are various things that you can do from here. Yeah. So this is how you basically manage that data. If I click on this particular user, it will open up a form for me. And in that form, I can add some more information about this particular customer. I can also customize this form. I can add notes about it. I can see the conversation history of what he has spoken in the past. I'll get to see a quick user analytics. So all that is available on this page. So this is how you do response management and manage the customer data. The data comes from all platforms. So if you want to just exclude certain platforms or include certain platforms, you can do it and see this data. So this is how you do response management. And then when you want to look at reports, you come to the report section and see these reports. So there are various dashboards for share of voice, sentiment analysis, which will give you a detailed sentiment of how you're doing on these platforms, which users are talking positive, which users are talking negative. And if they're talking positive, what are the keywords they use the most? So all those insights are available in all these reports and dashboards. Yeah, so this is your whole listening module. Under monitor, you have social listening module, and you have a module for your response management, and the reports are over here, where you have the listening reports laid out here, and the turnaround time reports of how you are performing on these platforms are laid out here. Yeah, so we'll just click and quickly see what kind of reports do we get here. Then I'll move on to the social analytics module to understand the analysis of your own social media platforms. Yeah. So if there are any questions, just let me know. In the meantime, I'll try and just change.
Samir, there are two more questions in the chat box.
Check them. I might get disconnected for a moment. Am I there?
Yes.
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. Okay. So I'll take this question. How do we get data from other public websites, right? So we are able to get data from public websites and they're categorized as your blogs, forums, news, consumer forums, and review sites. So we crawl all these platforms in with our crawlers. So if you talk about a website which is classified as a let's say a forum, right, or a consumer forum, then you're going to get data from these platforms without any problems, because they treat us as like a search engine that is getting data from these platforms. So if it is legally available, as in it's a public website, then you can get data from this platform. I have one question, that how this tool is different from other tools like Hootsuite or Sendible. Of course, when you put in the keyword social listening tools, you're going to get a lot of tools, but not all tools are same, right? They are meant for different purposes. The tools that you have mentioned are more like our publishing model. They're not purely a response management workflow or social listening tools. They won't have a lot of dashboards. And hence, they are meant for various categories. If you're a brand, then you need a complete tool to get you insights from what people are talking from all possible platforms. We do not miss out on any data. That is one of our key thing. And you need a platform which is completely customer centric and gives you all the insights in one platform. That's where Konnect Insights is different, and it's more of an enterprise platform. Whereas the other platforms that you mentioned are majorly meant for the marketers. Yeah. So let's look at social analytics model. Here you get insights for your own platform. So if you look at something like Instagram, you would want to know what kind of posts you have done, how many followers you have added, what kind of posts are working for you, how many stories you have done. So all those insights you'll get over here. Yeah, this is this I'm getting because I've authenticated my own social media channel. I won't get it for if I just put in the link. I'll get only the public data in that case. But over here, I'll get insights as to how many posts we are doing, how many stories we are doing, what kind of posts are working for us, all the insights related to our audience, how do they engage with us, from which region they come. So all those insights are available in your social media analytics module. The analysis of my own social media channels, and to some extent, I'll get that for the competition. So if I look at a competition report and I click on Facebook comparison, then I'm going to get insights for various other platforms, at how many posts they're doing, how much engagement they're getting. Yeah, not all the insights about the competition, but everything that is publicly available, which is posts in that case, basis that we get insights for the competition as well. So that is what is covered in the social media analytics. In Monitor, we were looking at insights about our own brand, of what others are talking about our brand and the competition and the industry. In the social media analytics, you do analysis of what you are talking on the social media platforms. And then, of course, you have a publish module where you can go ahead and schedule content on these platforms. You can hit the compose new button and you're going to make a post or schedule a post onto this platform. You will get a very nice calendar view of what kind of posts you are doing, what you have done. And from here, you can compose a post onto the platform. So pretty straightforward. You can just click on the compose post and it will go ahead and post it. Yeah. Then there is a survey model to put in the surveys, where you can create surveys, and you then can basically look at all the insights that will be available in the survey model. And in the dashboards module, you go ahead and basically customize your own dashboards, put in the charts, define those charts, or can go to the BI tools and define columns and filters, and then present this live dashboard to the management. So there can be multiple dashboards that you can create here. And these dashboards, all you have to do is just drag and drop and create your own custom dashboard from here. Yeah. just give me a moment. Well, am I there? Hello?
Yes, Samir. We can
What
hear
you
you.
can hear me? Yeah. So I got one question that whether regional languages also picked up. So the answer is yes. You can also have regional languages, and basically when you create a topic, you can put in any kind of keyword, and that keyword can be in any language, and you'll start getting data from any language. So whether you want to put languages specific to Sri Lanka, you can put in, and the data will start flowing in. Yeah, so it is completely keyword agnostic, language agnostic rather, and you will get data from all these platforms. Yeah, so that's a quick overview of Konnect Insights. My internet connection is bit, it's not working fine, so I couldn't show all the aspects of the product, but overall all the aspects that we have in the product were covered. So if there are any questions right now, I'll be able to answer that if you have any.
I think there were a few more questions, Samir. I passed one more to you directly.
Yeah, so there's one question for competitor analysis. Do we get data from other public channels like news sites? Yeah, I've already answered that. So all the public data which is available on these platforms, you get that data. As far as Facebook is concerned, you get data from Facebook pages. You don't get data from your from private Facebook walls that we write, or Facebook groups. We don't get that data, but we get data from all the publicly available data that is there. So can we how do we show the negative feedback complaints are assigned to someone designated? Yeah. So when you see the conversations, you can assign send the conversation to different team members, either manually, or there is an option also to set up rules where it automatically gets assigned to the team member. You need to do a setup for that. I couldn't show that in the interest of time, but there are workflows where you can define the rules for assignment, and you can also manually go ahead and assign the conversations. How many logins accounts do we get per package, or how does the pricing model works? So there are three important aspects for the pricing. How many results you are going to get, then how many social profiles you want to connect, and how many users you want to connect. So based on that, we have various plans, like a startup plan or a standard plan or standard plus plan, or depending on the brands, you can customize that. So there are brands who go for maybe 100 social profiles on the higher side. If I have to say, they can go to about 1 million mentions, or there are brands who would go for as low as 10,000 mentions or 3 profiles. So depending on how much you want to analyze, you pay less or pay more accordingly. Yes, thank you. In Sri Lanka, we have a lot of FB groups that talk about brands and share complaints, like some mini activist communities that wait around to capture FB groups. Okay, so as far as all the platforms data that we get this data based from the APIs that are available from this platform. So Facebook do not offer APIs for Facebook because they believe Facebook groups, because they believe that groups are very much a private conversation. So even if you are the admin of the group, you will not be able to map them into the third-party tools. Of course, as brands, we would love to listen to these conversations, but it's not legally available from Facebook to get the Facebook groups data. You get Facebook pages data. So all that conversations that happen on your page, you can see that. Yeah. The ability to monitor Facebook groups is a must, though I appreciate that. I understand Facebook groups is very important, but it's something that brands know today, that because of the APIs that are not available from Facebook for Facebook groups, you don't get that data. Yeah. So I think I've answered all the questions that were there, Mr. Varnika, and I would thank you for this opportunity and would love to take it ahead from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Samir. I will now hand it over to Prabha to offer the vote of thanks.
Thank you for participating to this introductory session of Konnect Insights, a revolutionary social media listening tool. We hope you enjoyed the presentation, and if you missed out anything, you can click on the link below to see the recorded video of today's session. I would like to thank our distinguished speaker, Mr. Samir, for making this interesting for you and making this webinar a meaningful one. I'd like to express our sincere gratitude to all of you who is here, taking this time off your busy schedule. So if you have any further clarifications, please do not hesitate to contact us. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much. Yeah.